Hey, all, super excited. Welcome to this. It's a guest call and it's focused on fitness and health professionals, people that have spent time and energy educating themselves on the human performance of the body, maybe to get fit, maybe fat loss is your specialty, maybe strength training is your specialty, maybe it's Pilates or yoga or Tai Chi or maybe massage therapist. Whatever it is that you're focused on, you're probably passionate about what you do. And you're probably passionate and you're probably well diverse in knowledge, and you're continuously trying to gain more knowledge on how to improve not only people's health, your own health, and ultimately helping people get the best results. But there's more to it than that. And today we're going to be talking about this keto concept, this keto supplement, as we call it, keto nat. We're going to be talking about the power of ketones and how it can apply for you and apply in your own life and potentially in your client's life and more. We're also going to be talking about the power of Prove It and why together this is such a unique opportunity for people to take a look at. And so what I've done is I brought on a handful of high-level coaches that have been using ketones for an extended amount of time, multiple years, have worked with people using ketones, have been in the industry collectively well over 100 years of time. Collectively, we've all been in this industry of health and fitness. We've bled it, we've learned it, we've studied it, we've challenged it. And I'm just excited that you're on here right now to watch and learn and hopefully gain some insight and information and at least gain enough insight to be able to investigate further or take action and join us, really. So before I do that, I'll introduce myself. I've been in the industry. I was a former recon Marine college athlete. I got my first weight set at 8 years old. So fitness has been a passion of mine my entire life. And I got into, more of the strength conditioning side of it in college. I moved into personal training because there was more money in it. And then I evolved into a muscle activation technique specialist with Greg Roskoff. I studied under Charles Poliquin and became a PICP coach. I'm just fascinated about bettering the body. I'm very diverse in nutrition and wellness, a biosignature practitioner. And when I learned about ketones a long time ago, I realized the power or benefit of ketones. But when I learned about ketones, the only way to do it was the hardcore ketogenic diet. And that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about a ketone supplement, the first of its kind, a one-of-a-kind supplement that gives you these unbelievable diverse benefits that most likely you don't know yet or know much about, even if you've been studying it for a while, because if you haven't used it and used it with people, you probably don't know that much about it yet. So we're going to try to help guide you through that today to make a really clear decision about what this is. And for us to do that, I want to introduce a good friend of mine. And I think there's nobody better to kick off the call and give a little bit of a background of the power of exogenous ketones, keto nat, bioidentical ketones, and what it can do for all of us, but maybe more so, what is it for some of the maybe less educated people in the keto space, in the health and fitness space. So with that said and done, Mr. Coach Rob DeBoer out there in Newfoundland, Canada right now. Coach, I know you're a two-sport high-level athlete. You did everything in fitness you can possibly probably do. You're in your 50s and you're buff, you're educated, you've done the work, but you've also been through a lot of obstacles through your journey. It's not like this is something that just magically you're like the perfect specimen and everything falls in your place. Very well knowledge, well diverse, educated. If you would come on and let's give the health and fitness professionals really the foundation of even keto, just a little bit of like, what is it? How does this work? And why is drinking ketones such a different thing than a ketogenic diet would be for people?
Yeah, Dustin, thanks so much for having me on. And just to qualify this, because anytime I'm asked to tune in or look at a product or try a program or consider some information, I always identify the source. And I will just tell you, being very true and transparent, I was a two-sport college athlete, I was a starting running back at the University of South Carolina, two-sport captain as a catcher in baseball, went on and played pro baseball. But here's where it gets interesting. I was very passionate about the health, fitness, nutrition industry. So I will go on record and say, I've been a natural athlete, and then I've been an anabolic athlete. Like I experimented. I was a state strongman champion. I did bodybuilding, so I know what it's like to participate I guess, naturally and legally, and then get into the sports realm where, anabolic steroids and things like that. So all of that to say, I bring a lot of skepticism anytime it has to do with health, fitness, nutrition. Now, that isn't my background anymore. My whole goal is aging well. And I think that's why this is so relatable to everyone, but specifically to the health, fitness, nutrition industry. I liken it to another fine powder that was kind of making a name for itself probably 3 decades ago, creatine monohydrate. It was a supplement that was engineered for the health, fitness, nutrition industry, or so we thought. Now we're learning there's so much more to that. But that's how kind of exogenous ketones were met. This didn't exist. This conversation didn't exist 8 years ago. So if you're a fitness professional, lean in and listen just from someone that's been there, tried it all, done it all. I grew up in the gym business. My brother owned 3 Gold's gyms. Like I say, I've done bodybuilding. I've done professional sports. I played pro baseball with the Oakland A's. Had a tryout with the Buffalo Bills. So like I've been at every level. And then I went into the kind of the recreation side of things with bodybuilding and strongman. And now I do body comp coaching, personal training, fitness training. And then I build a business with Prove It and building a community because of this product. And that's where we kind of hang our hat, because this is very unique. If you're not familiar with exogenous ketones, there are multiple patents protecting a very specific formulation that Prove It has exclusive rights to. If you're looking for research, you could go Google exogenous ketone patent muscle power output, exogenous ketone patent muscle catabolism. So like as an athlete or as a trainer or as a coach, I would love to improve muscle power output. I would love to prevent the breakdown of lean body mass. Now, not only is that relative to the health, fitness, nutrition community, but it's relevant to the entire aging well community, which is all of us. Me now being 52, I would honestly say, except for a frozen shoulder, I look, feel, and perform good. My body composition is better at 52 than 42. And here's why. I drink an exogenous ketone supplement, not to be confused with the ketogenic diet. I probably do a couple hundred carbs a day. That's just me. One of the things I love about Prove It is we promote, preach, and teach. The only diet that works for Dustin Schaefer is the one he'll do. For Coach Rob DeBoer is the one he'll do. For my girlfriend Danielle is the one she'll do. But ketones should be a part of every diet. Here's why. Mood and mindset. This is a supplement form that puts the body into what's called ketosis. That is a condition or a state where ketones are heightened in the blood, I would argue, for the heart, brain, muscle to use. Okay. We know what science says supporting this. So if it improves mood and mindset, appetite, craving control, now all of a sudden it allows us to help clients, customers, athletes make better choices when it comes to what they fuel their body with, how they fuel their body, how they train their body. So if you could think of 8 words: mood, mindset, appetite, craving control, energy, endurance, and then these 2 are probably the biggest benefit that everyone should camp out on, but it's not a physical feeling. Muscle preservation, protection. If you can show me something of substance with science protected by patents that is proven to preserve and protect lean body mass as we age, as we train, as we compete, now you've got my attention. What makes this special is it's, we throw out the word proprietary. All that really means is it's specialized and specific to Prove It. And yes, there's all sorts of formulations. You could buy ketones, quote unquote, ketones from the grocery store, probably, Vitamin Shop, GNC. But the great thing about ketones is they're blood tested. We can quantify the quality and the effectiveness in the blood with a blood test. So within 1 hour, 100% of the time with 1 serving, I can put a client, a customer, myself, my friends, my family, my athletes into a state where their body is better fueled than the traditional glucose carbohydrate process. So all of that to say, we've got a very real product that helps people lose weight, feel great, age well. I like to talk about body composition and athlete performance. So for the fitness industry, I'll just end with this. If you could improve compliance, just think of this, hashtag ketones create compliance. If you could improve your athletes, your customers, your family, your friends, the people you're coaching, if you can improve their compliance to what you and I coach and teach and preach, Dustin, it's like you said the other day, you and I were talking, hey, the information I have pales in comparison the value of this product. This product will coach you better than I can. Now, what if I can deliver this product for you, number one, and number two, you have better compliance. You're going to follow what I coach, preach, and teach you to do. Your training will be better. Your recovery will be better. Your fueling of your body will be better. Now, if I can improve compliance, now I really can do my job. You know, that was one of the most frustrating things is, hey, we only get them for an hour or two a day if it's an athlete or a client, or a few hours a week. What about all the other time? Well, they better be compliant to what we say. That's where this really, I think, sets itself apart from every other supplement, every other competing product in this space.
Man, you could have said it any better. That's, you get me all excited. We could literally, this call could be 4 hours long, just so you all know. And if you all want more information on this, if you're in the health and fitness space, we actually have some videos that we can share along the way for you to dig in a little further into more details. But just for everybody to truly understand this, we're telling you it's not a diet. It's a product that elevates your body's efficiency to perform from the brain to the heart to the muscle systems. It increases ATP production up to 30%. It increases oxygen utilization. So basically, you just don't breathe as hard under the same amount of work. And Dr. Jeff Volek did an unbelievable research on this, and it's literally one of the number one performance products he's ever seen. And he's one of the most prolific researchers in performance. But that same thing applies to your clients in their 70s or 60s. The same thing applies to the professional athletes that we work with across, and everybody in between. But just so you all know, if you're brand new to this and you're like, what is it? It's a powder. It's a pack here. And it's a powder you mix in water. I like a little bit of ice. Rob and I we were all discussing, you can do a shot of it. And I've been doing that a lot more. Rob, you can do a shot in like 6-8 ounces of water before your workout in the morning. You can add it to any regimen you're doing. You don't have to change what you're doing. You might find that you want to change what you're doing. You might want to advance it further, or you can add a little bit more water and have it over a little period of time. That's up for you to decide. But we really enjoy having, especially if you really want the performance kick of it, drink it down in 5-10 minutes with just a shot of water, 8 ounces of water. Wow, you're going to feel yourself just come up, rise, and be on target. I would challenge you that most of you will have a PR, a personal record, within the first week of using this, because as long as you're in shape and you're going for it. If you're just starting out, then maybe not. But it's a truly a game changer. What we're going to do is we're going to share a few stories here. But before I do that, what I want to do is I want to just ask, there's a lot of guests on here, or there's people on here that have been drinking ketones for a while. And a lot of people on here right now are our clients. Let's be honest. Most of us fitness professionals if we work with athletes, it's usually a small number, right? Most of the people we work with are everyday people trying to figure life out. You know, if I think about it, Rob, I have 4 kids now, traveling, international business. If I was coaching myself 20 years ago, I couldn't have complied to my own regiment, because life is so crazy now. So in the chat, if you've been drinking ketones for a while, I want you to put down 4 or 5, every benefit that you've had been in here, but I want you to put down, what's your age? What is your background? Like, are you a fit person? Are you new to fitness or health and wellness? You know, give me some details, because I really want these health professionals to realize that this is a very universal product that helps people in a lot of ways. And then as we do that in the chat, I might read some of these off. I'm going to ask a few people just to share their story for us. And these are all health fitness professionals. The first one is Michelle and John. They're down in Mexico if their service is good. They own a CrossFit gym. They're super into health and wellness, have been for many, many years. Extremely diverse, unbelievably knowledgeable on the human body. One of our very first CrossFit gyms and facilities to even come on board to try this. So they were an innovator. In CrossFit, people don't like to, step outside of their boundaries or boxes or add things new. It's like they're following their regimens, and they're kind of like anti everything else. So Michelle, John, I'd love for you to come on and just tell us, why did you use ketones? What have you noticed from them? And then I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. maybe they're not available. Maybe their electricity did go out. So I'm going to jump over to Chuck, and then we'll come back to them. So Chuck, really the same question. Chuck is a guy. He's a competitive bodybuilder. He owns an unbelievable gym called Titanium Gym. Chuck, tell us. I mean, first off, why have you used ketones? And then I do want you to talk about your last show and how they've helped you in your last show.
Hey, Dustin, thank you for having me on. It's good to see you, buddy.
Yes, sir. I thought you were going to rip your shirt off or something, dude. I thought you were going to like give us the showdown.
Trying to keep it PG here. No,
all right.
So I started out, I tried ketones when I was doing like a higher carb diet. I was getting ready for a competition, a bodybuilding show. And like Rob, I was skeptical, right? There's a lot of different supplements out there. So I tried it. And then within a couple of days, I could physically feel and see a difference. And I like, this is interesting. So I kept increasing my carbs and I kept eating drinking the ketones, and my composition continued to change. Also, something else that I don't think is probably talked about a lot is mental focus, how ketones are healthy for your brain. And just, I'm able to focus. I also do martial arts too.
Congratulations on the world champion. I mean,
yeah, thank you. I won a world championship about 3 weeks ago now in Arizona. So actually 3 weeks ago from today. And ketones helped me prepare for that. And, and something else too, you guys, I've been bodybuilding for 21 years now. I just turned 40. And I'm not getting paid to say this, but ketones are the best supplement I've ever tried. I'm not blowing smoke. That's just the honest truth. That's how I am. And it's it works, because that's the thing about supplements is a lot of it's not FDA regulated. You don't really know what you're really having. Well, with this, I'm very prideful of what I consume and what I also have at our gym. And it's the best product I've ever used. And it's cool because you can see and feel the difference, and I ended up getting first at the bodybuilding show. That was back in late October last year. And then I just won the world championship in Taekwondo. So I'm always busy. And also something else too is if you guys are like hooked on caffeine or energy drinks, this is so much healthier for you. You don't have to have caffeine to have energy. The ketones do that for you. And it's a great product. And I did an experiment, like Dustin said, and I kept adding carbs. I went from like 250 to 350, sometimes 400 grams a day of carbohydrates. Still kept losing body fat and building muscle slowly, but it was. That's the only thing I changed.
How did you feel going into your show? A lot of times bodybuilders that go into show, and this isn't just about bodybuilding. This is one of our stories today. But how did you feel? I mean, most people go into a bodybuilding show, they're pretty burned out, pretty lethargic, pretty fried,
yes.
down. We talked about the post recovery of a show too. How did you feel during that phase?
I didn't feel like I didn't feel like death. Like normally when you do a show, if you're doing it right, you're going to feel pretty bad. But I didn't feel that way. There was a few times where I was like, man, I got to have something, but that's expected. The ketones really helped me actually up my dosage. I ended up doing 2.5 packets a day instead of 2 full packets a day. And it made a world of difference. Also the Mitoplex too, because it helps with hydration. So I would mix that half packet of ketones and then also the Mitoplex. And I still do that today.
Right.
I've cut back to 2 packets a day, but it's a great product, you guys. No BS. I highly recommend it. And I have it. I sell it at our gym, have clients take it. It's a longevity type of supplement.
Awesome.
You
know, well, Chuck, I truly appreciate
like a tank.
it. Thank you so much for sharing. And congratulations again on the world champion. That's super awesome. It's fun watching you go through that journey. We're going to transition over here to Michelle. Michelle and John down in Canada, the CrossFitters. They've been with us for quite a few years. And so Michelle, John, can you share with us, I guess, first off, why were you even open to trying it? You know, as being a CrossFitter, you guys kind of have a culture around that. I'm just impressed you were open-minded, especially, you know, a handful of years ago, to give it a try.
Hi guys, can you hear us?
Perfectly. Yes, your service is
Okay,
good.
okay. Thank you so much for having us, Michelle and John. As Justin mentioned, we had a CrossFit gym for 10 years, and we found this product about 6 years ago. And Dustin, I was not open to it originally, but I also came from the bodybuilding world, and I was like, wow, if there's such a thing as drinkable ketones, I'm all over this. And I had Coach Rob actually fly up to Canada at the time and sit on my gym floor and explain to me why we should be involved with this company and this product, because I truly did not believe that it did what it says that it would do. So John and I were actually closet ketone drinkers for 1 month.
At least.
And we bought a little meter, and we tested our blood every morning because I still did not believe it was true. And actually, after 30 days, both of us, we did not take the product for fat loss. For us, it was really about preserving muscle. And lo and behold, our body compositions actually changed quite dramatically. So that from then on in kind of had us sold.
Awesome. Well, and John, you can definitely speak on this too. What have you seen now utilizing it with different types of personalities, different people, maybe people that couldn't get results or like plateaued or have a busy life? How did you see this product help them get results that maybe you couldn't just do through traditional CrossFitting or traditional nutrition coaching?
Well, thank you very much for having us, Dustin, and everyone else on the call. Yeah, we were always looking for tools and nothing really in specific, but there was something missing that we wanted or we needed for our clients. And so you talked about us being open on this, and so we just did a little bit of research. We've seen the word pop up every now and again in some publications, and we said, look, this guy from North Carolina is willing to come up here to tell us about this. And where it really streamlines well, or where it really shines, is when you talked about plateaus. There's people who get into a journey and they get to that point where there needs to be something else for their metabolism to kind of just kickstart. Number one, they need that increase or that shot of energy. And number two, they also need that shot of metabolism. Something needs to change in their physiology. And so that's what ketones did very quickly for people. For most people who drank a ketone, they probably had never been in ketosis in their whole life, ever, a day. And so for them, they would come back to us within days and say, oh my God, what is this? I have so much energy. And if you have that energy, you're going to do more. It's all about people just wanting to do more, feeling better on a day-to-day basis, waking up, not feeling any aches and pains. So it's really done well for people who've hit plateaus. It's really, really done well for women who are probably our primary target market, who have stubborn fat. Maybe they've had 2 kids and they're in midlife. Maybe they're going through sort of that change in life, and they're really struggling with trying to get that last 10, that last 15 pounds off. So it has been a savior. And for us, it's just, I'm in all about the results. I'm about proof, and I'm about technology. And so Prove It Ketones had all of that for us to back what we were talking about.
Awesome. That is super cool. Is there one story out there? I'm reading the stories in the chat right now that just kind of like, wow, I can't believe that happened. Do you guys have anything off the top of your head?
Like from us personally?
No, you personally, or one of your clients?
Our clients?
Yeah, you can talk about your, you go in for blood work every 3 months, briefly.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I can relate to Chuck. I did a show with ketones for the first time, and it was kind of like a walk in the park, which is like, it was great. It was a great show, and I literally prepped in like 2 months with ketones and was able to kind of walk on stage and win and walk off without being hungry and miserable. And so for me, I mean, I would probably go and do another show because ketones makes it so easy. Not that it's easy, but it kind of is ketones.
Right. Well, and it's important that we kind of touch on this for everybody. If you're somebody watching this right now, like, a lot of us are disciplined. You're in the fitness industry, you're disciplined. You have this routine, you've been doing it a long time. Our clients are not. anything that we can do is stack the odds in the favor. And I do have one more person I'm going to bring on who's just an amazing, amazing young lady. She's not, 14 at all, but she's a young lady, aren't you, Christine? But before she does, I'm just going to read a few of these out there. Think about this. I'm 43 and I've lost a lot of fat, built quite a bit of muscle. My resting heart rate has improved dramatically, and I just started working out 2 weeks ago. I want to say that again. I'm 43 years old. I've lost a lot of fat, built quite a bit of muscle. My resting heart rate has improved dramatically, and I just started working out 2 weeks ago. My point is that this stacked the odds in her favor to make the changes that we've been, as health professionals, want everybody to make. We have been drinking ketones for 70 years, age 42. Now I'm athletic, but haven't been able to be when I started due to my muscle separations from my pregnancies. I've dropped 30 pounds of fat, 10 to 12 pant size. And now instead of people asking me if I'm pregnant, when I wasn't, they ask if I do CrossFit, and I don't. This is pretty cool. I'm 68, I'm down 60 pounds. I've been drinking my ketone. I mean, the story is 59. I've always been heavy, down 55 pounds. I have mental clarity. My joints move better. My energy is way better. And now I want to work out. 59, I've been drinking them over a year. I started with fat loss. Now I focus on energy, mindset, mental clarity, better mood, and sleep. Think about this. If you had clients come in and said, I want to lose weight, and they only focus on the scale, and they came in and said, listen, I want to get better. The scale is a byproduct of me getting better. And that's what this does, is one of the amazing tools about it. I got 60 more of these stories, and they're just all the same. One after another. But I'm going to bring on one more person. Then we're going to talk a little bit about why prove it. So Christine, Miss Christine Tulford, unbelievable. She's passionate about fitness, has been for a long time, out there in South Florida, Central South Florida. Christine, tell us why as a health professional, why as a fitness instructor, do you stand behind these ketones?
Okay, well, thank you, Dustin. First of all, so nice to see everybody on this call. And I'm 59. So yeah, I definitely get it. I'm not an athlete. I was not an athlete, but I have been in the fitness industry for 30 plus years. I married a professional baseball player who was absolutely not interested in any supplements. However, he was the first guinea pig, and we did our research, and we're so glad that we did 5 years into this. But honestly, it's so interesting, but I'm listening to all the stories that you're sharing of why this is so important. So I personally train people. I actually am a coach that I work at F45. So I do some F45 coaching and training, and I love the HIIT style of workouts. I am a CrossFit level 1 certified trainer, love my CrossFit. But what I have noticed over the course of time is, and I've heard you say this several times, is the tools needed. People need tools. They come in, they have their Celsius drinks, they have their pre-workout powders, and all they're doing is they're hoping that's going to give them what they need to see the optimal performance. What I can honestly tell you from my own personal story, that I did an in-body scan. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with the DEXA scan, and I did an in-body scan. So when someone says, I lost 30 pounds of fat, you go, okay, that's awesome. But they don't necessarily, it's important to have that scan. So I took a scan in November of last year. November of last year, I was 142 pounds and I was 30% body fat. And here's the deal. I was the same trainer, the same fitness professional, the same workout person. Fast forward to May of this year, I got my other in-body scan from November to May, and I was down to 16% body fat, and I had dropped 30 pounds. And 99% of the fat loss based on the in-body scan was fat. And that was done with a doctor. And he even said, wow, you lost fat. And that's the first time. And I do believe the shift has been that the tools that are in the ketones, and I'm going to tell you right now, we haven't touched on this. I started adding in January, after 5 years of drinking this product, I started adding the protein powder every single day, every day. I also shifted into a longer OMAD lifestyle. I could never fast for 20 plus hours. I could do the 60-hour reboot, no problem. I did that for 5 years, but just ask me to go 23 hours, I struggled. And I know that's a mental game. I know that's that competitiveness with myself. I can go 62 hours. Anyway, adding the protein, and we've shifted that reboot with that protein. I love it. So I'm going to throw that in there because I know we didn't touch on it. I'm going to tell you and tell your clients, and for those of you listening, adding that protein in is a game changer. I really believe that has been a significant tool that has allowed me to drop more and really tap into those fat stores, which is what we all want to do. My workouts are phenomenal. I've always had to do banded assisted pull-ups. Now I do the pull-ups without bands. So to me, that's a win. Okay.
59 crushing pull-ups. This is awesome.
Pull-ups, I'm doing my push. I mean, everything. And I'm training people. So I can tell you, and it's so nice when it lines up that I can not just tell you, but we can actually walk this journey together. And I have young people going, okay, like, what are you doing? I just got done talking to somebody about a summer slim down pack and giving them a tool. So I really think that we as a company have innovated enough to bring in the proteins, to bring in the systems, so that now it's easy as a fitness professional to be like, here's your tool. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to learn how to fast. I want you to learn how to not believe the lie that says you got to put those 6 small meals in your body constantly and elevate your insulin, which is a fat storage hormone. We don't want to go there. We want to work on what we already have on us. And that's what ketones help us do. It helps us to tap into that so that we can burn that fat for fuel. And it's a signaling molecule. And we know that it helps our body, our brains and our stomach talk. But when we have that protein, guys, I'm telling you, and we need to focus on protein, right? That's what I hear Coach Rob DeBoer all the time. Focus on protein. We focus on protein. So that's what I do. Protein is my number one go-to. Even when I break the fast for the day and I'm ready to have my meal, my first focus is, what protein am I consuming? I've had my protein shake and I'm consuming protein. And I love Chuck. He said he went from 2.5 packs down to 2. I have 2 every single day. And if I really want to have a decaf, guess what? I have a 3rd one because I can't, because it doesn't stay in your system. I drink plenty of water. So you don't need to be afraid of how much you share with your clients to ingest this. It's only going to benefit them. I would never tell them to drink 3 Celsiuses, but I will tell them, go ahead and have 3 ketones. You're going to be just fine. Tony.
I think you just had one before you got on this call here. I mean, you're fired up.
I
love it. I love it. Hey, in the chat, everybody give all the testimonials, the fitness professionals a big shout out. We are going to make a little transition. I'm going to bring Rob back on, and we're going to do this in about 5 minutes. So one of the things that's really important is that we have these products. We have the main product is called Keto Nat. We have support products like Keto Pro, and this is all here to support people based off of different needs. And if you're watching this right now, you don't need to know about all the things yet, but we know that people need guidance and programs, right? So we do have fasting strategies that we utilize, or resets and reboots and metabolic resets. And these are strategies that we can use to help elevate people's health and guide you as a health professional to maybe give simple plans to people if you need that. And so, but we do want to make a transition. And Rob, I want to talk about Prove It for just, like I said, just a minute or two, because a lot of health professionals maybe are on here going, well, you know, what does this mean to me? Like, how does this matter to me? And as a health professional myself, I knew that at the age of 30, I could never financially get far enough ahead on my own in the fitness industry to retire. I wasn't saving money up. I bought a house, but if I wanted to have kids in a bigger house, I wasn't going to afford a bigger house. Most of the people in the health and fitness industry that I knew they made all their money by selling programs to trainers, not actually training people. Most gym owners I know are one disaster away from going bankrupt. And that's what the world I was. Fitness industry isn't about making a lot of money, unfortunately. It's about helping other people. But if we're stressed about money all the time, it was really tough. So I was looking for a way to make extra income when I met Prove It. And what I didn't know who Prove It was. And I know you named Prove It. So can you just take a second and tell people why Prove It? And then we'll talk a little bit about just this model, so we can maybe debunk a few things without getting too deep into it.
Yeah, so I want to point something out before I forget, Dustin, because I don't know if everyone else caught this, but I certainly did. And every single person that spoke tonight said something, whether you caught it or not. None of them talked about weight loss. what they all basically said is, hey, if we can help preserve, protect, keep, and create lean body mass, we can cover the weight loss. Like, if we can keep and create muscle, you will lose fat. That is the narrative for most people that really understand health, fitness, nutrition, performance. So like, that should be such great news. This isn't about suppressing appetite. What you heard, the common denominator was, look, Michelle Smay said, I didn't come here to lose weight. I came here to preserve muscle. You know, Chuck said, I didn't, diet down to, lose fat. I tried to just present my best package on stage and keep as much muscle. So that should be a high level of credibility to everybody that's watching. And the reason that matters and makes such a difference, Dustin, is because if this is a tool, it's an exponential tool. I owned a personal training studio. It was called Rob DeBoer's Athlete Factory. I trained performance athletes, and while kids were in school and athletes were in school, I trained housewives, soccer moms, and businessmen and women. The reason, you talk about this being just, kind of trainers are low paid lawyers, really. You're trading dollars for hours, and you can only charge so much in Corner Brook, Newfoundland, or Columbia, South Carolina, or Louisville, Kentucky, where I moved here from. But what Prove It does is it gives you a vehicle and a business model that if you really believe in it and you really have a true product and it really delivers a true net result and it really has a credible message, now you have a real business opportunity. Because I don't know anybody in Saudi Arabia, but I have a customer there because someone told someone who told someone about the muscle preservation protection capability of ketones. I don't know anybody in Des Moines, Iowa, but I have a gym there using this. You heard John and Michelle Smay, Rob DeBoer sat on the floor of our CrossFit gym trying to tell us about ketones. I didn't know a single CrossFit box owner in Canada, but now their CrossFit box sells ketones to their clients. What does that mean? Well, if you start looking at our business model and our brand and our track record and everything that's gone in, this isn't on trial. The opportunity is not on trial. The product's not on trial. The results aren't on trial. Now it's just, hey, how open is your mind to saying, you know what, if what you're saying is true, by the way it is, I want to take a closer look. I want to know what's the next step. How could I get this, leverage your time, effort, and energy by helping you? Like, that's what people don't understand about this industry. Community-based marketing, network marketing, multi-level marketing. I don't care what you call it. If I can help a trainer in Des Moines, Iowa, or Collingwood, Ontario, Canada, CrossFit box owners, if I can help them leverage their time, which is limited, their effort, which is limited, their energy, which is limited, and exponentially help them grow a business, they're all ears. That's why Michelle Smay and John Smay are on this call tonight. That's why thousands of people are now drinking ketones. It wasn't because of a big marketing campaign. It was because, Dustin, you met someone who believed in you. You used this as a tool. They got results, very predictable results. You've heard the same story from fitness professionals in different age groups, different areas of expertise, from you to me, different diet phases, from, hey, high carb to fasting to I eat 6 meals a day, everything in between. There's no wrong way if you're drinking ketones, and we show you what the right way is. So that's why it's such an exciting opportunity. Even if it's part-time, get in and fit in and find a way to engage this conversation into your customers. It just fits. And it's no longer on trial.
Man, I appreciate you sharing all that, and we can get into more of these details. But the best way to do that now, if you're at the end of this call, is to be open, right? If you need to do your homework, do your homework by talking to somebody that's already done it before. Do your homework by connecting with us. We have some of the top researchers in the world that have validated the product. We have unbelievable people that have had success in and out of the fitness industry. A lot of people that aren't in the fitness industry having great success with this because the product is so powerful and the company is here to support you. And I'll just end you with this, is that I wasn't a business savvy person. I wanted to have more success. I wanted to walk my son to school. I wanted to travel more. I wanted to have a retirement fund. I wanted to own a different house. And I knew that I had to create another income stream in a different way. but I also didn't know what I was doing. I needed mentorship. I needed guidance. I needed somebody to tell me what to do. I needed a plan to follow. I needed a product to stand behind. And Prove It provided all that for me and gave me the ability to grow and start part-time. And then I eventually turned it into a full-time. But initially I was part-time because I didn't want to leave my facility. It grew to that place. And that could happen for you too. Or maybe you do them both. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to tell you to do. We have different programs, we have packages, we have ways you can get started. When I was looking at franchising, I was looking at $1.2 million to start my franchises, 3 of them in the fitness industry. I chose to go a different route. I chose to do this instead. For less than $1.2 million, I've had success. I've had way more success than I would have ever had in a franchise. Way more success. So under 50,000, under 10,000, you can go under $1,000. You can start. You can start as low as very little to invest in yourself to get your business started. So that shouldn't be an objection getting started. The only objection is your open-mindedness to look further. And this is what I'm going to be very blunt, very upfront here. I'm a military background. Is if you're right now, if you don't have enough clients, enough client means like 100 in the hole waiting to join your business, not having exactly, because tomorrow that some are going to leave, right? Have enough clients, a waiting list. If you don't have an additional income stream, if you don't have a 401k or retirement fund, if you don't have your vacation plan for this year, because you got to take care of you too. If you don't have any of those things, then you should get back to whoever invited you and ask to get on a call with their team leader. Because the person that invited you might have been a lady that's over 300 pounds overweight, knows nothing about health and wellness. It might be a guy that drinks alcohol half the time, loves ketones because it helps their brain and gives them energy, but knows nothing about health and wellness. They might have invited you to watch this. So I want you to get on a call with the team leader, somebody that's been in for a while, that has diversity, that can point you in the right resources and directions. And let's get you the right information, make an educated choice, and let's go and change lives. I have a sign above me that says a mission to 1 million. Together, we can help a lot more people with the power of ketones and Prove It, change their life without having to be perfect and be committed to the gym like we are, committed to the health journey like we are. We can get them started, and over time, they'll get committed. So my encouragement to you is get back to whoever invited you, ask to get on with the team leader, set up a 30-minute Zoom, have a conversation. Let's answer all those questions, and let's go out and change lives, starting with yours. And then let's change your clients' lives and all the clients that are going to come after that. So thank you all for being on tonight. Truly appreciate it. We did go over about 13 minutes, but I truly appreciate it because this is a huge passion of mine. And it's not just about helping people. It's also helping trainers get out of the rat race and get them financially stable and get them a client base that they can impact more lives. And we can change the health of our country together. I'm just telling you. So thanks, Rob. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, John. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate you all for being on. Everybody have a great night.